Old Macdonald Had a Farm has to do with interdimensional communication. Part 2, go watch part 1. And then come right back. Oh, my hair's a mess. Just ignore it. Okay, so we're just going to go over Old Macdonald Had a Farm, EIEIO. This is the most important part, EIEIO, and what the heck that was hidden in plain sight. I don't know if this was on purpose, but I'm going to show you a crazy amount of connections to EIO and link it to interdimensional communication between us and God, the universe, the all, whether it's our future self, higher self, whatever. We also went over that the original creator of this was Thomas D. Urfrey. He was a Mason, and it was originally called In the Fields in Frost and Snow in the opera The Kingdom of the Birds or Wonders of the Sun. I go into here that the Kingdom of the Birds have to do with electrons and plasma and being communicators of plasma or electrons. And the Wonders of the Sun is literally plasma. And then I talked about the frost and snow being sacred geometry and dusty plasma, which is known to have some type of intelligence. Or complexity will arise in it with something that mimics life or the building blocks of pre-life. Look it up. So for those that are new here, E is the God outside of us or the all. O is the God inside of us. And I is the bridge between it, which is the electrons and plasma. I know that's kind of hard to understand, so I'll just take you really quick through this. God is a mystery. I am my story. The only difference between a mystery and my story is E for outer God and O for inner God. When you put it all together, the only difference between inner God and O and outer God, the E, is the dash. The dash is the bridge. It is the negative charge, iron, blood, electron, plasma. I highly recommend you watch the video directly before this and then watch this. Also, really quick, if you want to screenshot this was just all the connections with EIO and ancient symbols. Okay, now we're going to get into what I didn't do on part 1, which is the crazy other connections in like pop culture and science and art that have to do with E and O and EIO and I. Number 1, Michael Jackson and Captain EO. And a lot of these connections came from y'all, so thank you. I love you. That's why I read all your comments, like every single one. Once again, I'm sorry. Sometimes I simplify my videos and talk exactly what plasma is. I don't have time to do this with all the connections. Go watch my plasma intelligence playlist. If you're like, wait, what the heck is intelligent plasma? It's just the fourth state of matter, you stupid little girl. Okay, you can think that. Let's wait a couple years and see if that still holds up, that there's not magical and metaphysical properties. Because a lot of us intuitives think that that's true. And just like in history, science changes, science evolves. What we think is foundational is always rocked to its core and changed. Plasma is ether, in my opinion. That is my theory. Luminiferous ether. It had paranormal properties in the 1890s. Yeah, I can't go too much into it. Also look up A New Science of Heaven by Robert Temple. So not only is Michael Jackson shooting out literal plasma lightning here, but it's about him changing the world, Captain EO. And there are plasma beings, or what we would call interdimensional beings. You could call them tulpas. I believe tulpas are things you make up, but it still has to do with plasma. Archetypes, whatever you want to call these, they're cool. I think also diamonds, like in the Golden Compass. I can't pronounce anything. There's another little being, Captain EO. So basically, this was a 3D sci-fi movie shown in Disney parks. And yes, Walt Disney was a Mason. And yes, that is 33 degree. Oh, and what is 33 in a degree? EO. Just to sum it up, Captain EO, he's on a spaceship to deliver a gift to a witch known as the Supreme Leader, who lives on a world of rotting, twisted metal and steaming vents. We're just going to shoot to the end. Basically, he transforms her lair into a peaceful Greek temple. The planet turns into a paradise. He saves the world, heals the planet. And then celebration breaks out to Another Part of Me as Captain EO and his crew exit and fly off into space. So in our theory, Captain EO would be outer God and inner God combined, which is basically you're enlightened, you're a healer, you remember who you are, and you know yourself fully, and you know that you're all, but you're also individualized. Okay. I also just wanted to share this one quick because I just read it. Make the letters EIEIO, remove the space. Now it becomes a square with 4 quadrants and a 0. Overlay them and have both vertical and horizontal representation of the Philosopher's Stone in a square. Oh my God, I see it. Do you? Is that a symbol for the Philosopher's Stone? Because that's kind of what I made out of it. The EIEI, and then I took the O and overlaid it. Is that a symbol for it? Because if so, that's pretty cool. And maybe I'm just onto something. Because why else would I care about this? There was like this really annoying person that said like, oh, you just spent all day connecting the dots. It's like, no, I'm given this information from my intuition. I'm passionate about it and I share it because our whole point on earth is to creatively express ourselves and share what we think, regardless if what we're scared of what people will say or think. This is my creative expression. This is like art. This is speculation, but I resonate with it and believe there's truth to it, which is why I share it. I don't do this for views, or I would talk about something more famous and paranormal, not fucking EIEIO. Anyway, I'm sorry I got upset. I'm sensitive. Okay, another weird connection. The caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland, also a Disney movie. His name is freakishly like Epsilon. I believe it is Absolem. Absolem? Sounds like Epsilon. Okay, this one's a little bit of a stretch, but it is weird how it doesn't just make other letters. E equals MC squared, E, and then another E or 3 here, and then C squared. If you flip C over, it creates a 0, EO, and then equal, obviously, dash. I'm just saying, is there something there? That's all I'm saying. Speculating here. Someone also said in Futurama that someone finds a dusty plasma cloud and it turns out to be God. If anyone knows that, please let us know what it is and leave it in the comments. That had to do with dusty plasma intelligence being God. Okay, this one kind of interested me. So there's a poem called The Dash by Live Your Life to the Fullest by Lisa Ellis. Basically the dash, the plasma bridge, the communication, the electron. What's important here is that with everything I'm saying, that this is all fun and it is my purpose, I feel like, to figure out or speculate on the meaning of life and communication, all this stuff. But what's so important also is to live your life and not just obsess about this kind of stuff. So it's almost like plasma, the dash, is telling us between God and God, your inner God and outer God, like this is your life. Experience it to the fullest. Go get that ice cream. Go take that road trip. Like, live in this world and experience it. That's why we're here. Our unique experience helps whoever these people are, this mysterious divine, this future family. It helps them evolve too by experiencing things through us. In my opinion, we're projections of them just here to experience, which evolves everything. Oh, what was really smart was someone said Old Macdonald, maybe O-M. Old Macdonald is O-M, just like the ohm symbol is the 30. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Also vowels, A-E-I-O-U. Obviously, E-I-O is in the middle. So what is A and what is U? That is something I'm curious if you guys have any connections. A obviously is what came first. So like A could be the beginning. In the beginning, there was God. And then U is interesting because US stands for atomic mass, which if you look back to the letter U, it actually looks like a person with a head and a stick. It was a bird back in the day, and then it kind of looked like a flame or a person. A flame or a person, that was U, which looked like Y at first. But in my mind, it meant that this, the EIO, made the U, or the atomic mass, or the person, or like we're the end. And then like, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. I have more to do. Also, as far as communication goes and electrons, I have a whole video about how Anana is the archetype of plasma. And then we see her here holding, not only is she holding like a Hamsa sign, which has a lot to do with plasma, I'll talk about that another time, but she's kind of wielding the power of the horizon here, it looks like. And what is that but a dash and the sun rising? I think the horizon is plasma. It is the in-between, between heaven and earth, which Anana is the queen of plasma, the queen of plasma communication and harnessing plasma. The owls and lions are symbols of that too. The owl's face is literally half of a torus, which has to do with plasma. Okay, there's also a gas called ethylene oxide, which has an interesting shape. Like, that's kind of interesting. It also is known to have a faintly sweet odor. Someone let me know that in the Bible, it said that God was a sweet savior or sweet odor. Yeah, here it is. Also, I think it's funny, last thing, Ganesha, who has the hand symbol like Anana, also loved eating sweets. Sorry, I just had to throw that in. I don't even know anymore. I don't know what I'm doing.